Hi everyone, my name is Soshtvi and today we're talking about the Inheritance Games series. So this is a trilogy. Well, there's a trilogy and then I think there's another trilogy or duology. Haven't read that yet. And I think the books in it are still coming out. But we're talking about the main trilogy right now, which is the Inheritance Games, the Hawthorne Legacy, and the Final Gambit. To start off, let me tell you what this series is about. Basically, we follow our main character who is Avery, and she lives with her sister, but they live in like very poor conditions. They're barely making it by, and a lot of times she ends up sleeping in her car because she doesn't like her sister's boyfriend, blah blah blah, a little bit of drama. And she's in high school, and basically one day this huge billionaire, I think the world's richest man, passes away, and he leaves his entire fortune to Avery. Okay, so basically Avery is not his family. She doesn't know who he is, no clue who this man is, and he just leaves his entire fortune to her. Now this man has a family. He has two daughters, their families, and he has four grandsons, and he leaves them basically pennies. He leaves them like $100,000 each, which is a lot of money, but yeah, it's basically pennies of his fortune to them, and he leaves the entire worth, all 46.3 billion, I think, to Avery, including all his investments and his properties. Everything goes to this girl. So she goes to the place that they live, which is called the Hawthorne Mansion, and it's in Texas. And the conditions are that she has to stay at this mansion for 1 year before she can inherit this entire fortune. If she doesn't, then it'll all go to charity. So our girl Avery stays, obviously, who would pass up that opportunity. And the series follows her and her entire journey through that 1 year in the mansion. Obviously, the entire family is pretty upset by this because there's this random girl who's come and claimed the entire fortune when it was supposed to be theirs, right? And we follow this entire book about her journey there, and her and the brother start solving a mystery about why he left her the fortune, what is the reason. And basically this man, this billionaire who died, he was fond of like a lot of like cryptic puzzles and games. Okay, the grandsons in the book have grown up playing all these mysterious games and puzzles every weekend. They've been trained in all sorts of enigmatic games, and the boys have basically grown up indulging in this world of mystery all their life. The mansion that they're living in is also an enigma in itself. This billionaire built this mansion every year. He added places to this mansion every year, and there's like secret passages and everything. So this is full of like lots of games, mysteries, puzzles to solve, exploring this mansion, finding different things out, lots of interconnected mysteries going on. And we're trying to figure out why he left her this fortune and what exactly is going on, because he's left cryptic messages for all the family members. While we're doing this, Avery is also trying to survive for her life because someone is out to get her. And when I say get her, I mean, yeah, because obviously random girl comes in, gets the fortune, the entire world is curious about her, the family is mad at her. It's a whole thing. I really enjoyed this series, truly, I really did. I would say that this is YA, right? It's young adult. So she's 17 in this book, waiting to be 18. And it's very, like you can feel the YA-ness of it. I don't know if it's just because I'm older now, like I just turned 24. So I don't know if it's because of that, or like you can feel the YA-ness of it. And if you're a younger reader, you will definitely enjoy this series. It'll be a 5 stars for you. But anyone around my age or older, just remember that the language, the way it's written, does feel very young. It's good, it's gripping, but it does feel very young. I think because of the age that I was able to feel this book be in, and also there's a love triangle in this book, which I'm not fond of love triangles. There's a love triangle between her and two of the brothers, and I am tired of the love triangle and two brothers trope so much, and I wasn't expecting it in this. I had no clue that's what it was going to be. So when I saw that, when I started reading about it, and I was like, oh god, I did not like that. I genuinely wish there wasn't a love triangle, because if it wasn't a love triangle, it would have been higher rated for me. But regardless, I did enjoy the story. I loved solving all the puzzles, and yeah, I rated this an almost 5 stars. I think the entire series overall would be like a 4.5 stars for me. The first book was a 4.5 stars. The second book was a 5 on 5. Honestly, this book was perfection. And the third book, initially I had rated this a 4.65, but now that my feelings have settled, I think I'll settle on like a 4.5 for this as well. So overall, really great series, definitely recommend, do check it out. And now I'm gonna dive into spoilers. So if you haven't read this book and you don't want to get the spoilers, please click out of the video. And without further ado, let's dive in. Okay, so my opinions about the first book. First of all, I loved it. The mystery, I truly enjoyed it. I loved the turns it took. None of it was predictable per se, but I was able to solve the mystery with them along as I went. That was fun to do, honestly. It was giving me very like Scooby-Doo vibes, Knives Out vibes. It's what everyone says, and it's true. Characters, like in this first book, I wasn't particularly rooting for either Jameson or Grayson to be with her. Like they felt like they were still too taken by Emily, which Emily, by the way, was giving me Allison vibes from Pretty Little Liars, or like Catherine from TVD. If you guys know, you know. That's the vibes I was getting from Emily, and I feel like, wait, like she was the center of the mystery, but at the same time we saw too much about how the boys were feeling for her, which is why I was like, I don't think I can see her with either of them until I'm sure they're really over Emily. So it was just like a confusing area for me to like pick a side, I guess. But I did find Jameson a lot more enduring compared to Grayson. Like I just like his personality a lot more than Grayson. Like obviously Grayson is meant to be that brooding older brother kind of a guy, and like I'm tired of that fucking trope. Also, her best friend is, honestly, I'm sorry, but she's a little annoying, okay? I get that in YA books we don't really see a lot of cursing, and she had like substitutes for cursing, and like once or twice, okay, I get it, but literally every sentence that comes out of her mouth is like faxing this and faxing that, and it was just getting annoying, and I don't know why we had her in the plot. There was literally no reason. But overall, great book. But then we came to the Hawthorne Legacy, and everything in this was perfect, barring again some of the romance. But everything in this was so perfect. This was so fast paced. I loved everything that we were unraveling, the way we were connecting everything. Like, this book really did it for me. I think all the characters fell perfectly into place. They were all given the right amount of story time that was needed. I prefer Jameson, okay? Now is the point when I tell you that I am Team Jameson. I like Grayson, I honestly think he's great, but for her, I think I prefer Jameson. I feel like there's a reason they connect. I think from the first book itself, we've been seeing the reasons why they connect, why they're drawn to each other. Whereas with Grayson, I was just, even in the third book, when she has like residual feelings for him still, and like we're trying to, like, the third book felt very like we're trying to drag out the love triangle for the sake of, but it was very clear that like her and Jameson should be together, because I really, till the very end, could not figure out what her reasons were for liking Grayson or for Grayson liking her. They haven't really spent all that much time together. They don't really know that much about each other, except that, you know, they're attractive and there's something about this boy. Like, I just don't know. Jameson, I felt like, was a better match for her, and this book I was completely team Jameson. And then, oh, and then the third book, I did like them, but it was also a little like confusing. Like at times I really felt like, wow, they really are in love, and at times I felt like, they like each other, they're cute, but are they like in love, you know? Like I feel like Jameson really fell hard for her, especially we saw that happening in the second book and then in the third book. But her, I feel like this series isn't for the ones who are looking for like passionate love, you know? This series is for people who are looking for like, oh, they're cute, they got together, and that's nice. That's what this series was giving me. And this entire plot with Grayson, like, I honestly feel like this entire love triangle thing was taking too much time that we could have actually spent with the mystery instead, and then that series could have actually been 5 on 5 for me. But the this dynamic between the boys was completely breaking it down for me. I was surprised that the third book was also quite emotional at points, and not emotional in the way that you're crying tears, but emotional like it was hard hitting. Some things were really taking my heart, and I think they were very well done, which I was not expecting from this series given how the first and the second book went. But yeah, I also love Xander. I think I hear that there's a new book coming out that's gonna be his perspective, which I'm really excited for because I really enjoyed him. I'm also glad that in this third book we had a lot less of some of the characters that were just unnecessary to the plot. Like a lot of the books where we have like an ensemble cast, especially in the final book, we'll have all of them pushed in together whether they're required or not. But the author made a really good choice by focusing on the characters who are important to the story and keeping everyone else on the sideline, so the story didn't feel convoluted. Like the entire mystery, the way it unravels in all three books, and at the end we have a lot of like, this one is this one's son and this one is this one's daughter and this is their bloodline and this is why this connects and this is why this connects, but it didn't feel confusing at any point. I really liked the way it unraveled. I love stories like these that we realize like, oh, this is what the actual connection is and this is this person's son or daughter, and now we come here. Like I love these kind of storylines, so I really enjoyed how this unraveled. And I feel like a lot of the characters in the end were left with these bittersweet feelings, which weren't like, oh, everything's come to a resolution or the feelings are resolved completely. And I like that because when you have this frustratingly complicated of a family and complicated a story, you can't have feelings that like where like every character has the resolution or every character feels at peace with what has happened and the end. And so I really like that. So yeah, I'm super excited for the next book. I think it's called The Brothers Hawthorne, and that's a completely new mystery, I guess. I have no clue what it's about, and since we're done with this trilogy, I don't know what they're going to delve into next, but I'm excited for it nonetheless, and I hope I'll read it soon, maybe in the next month or so. But yeah, those are all my thoughts for the Inheritance games. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please do like, subscribe, comment, and share. It helps me out a lot, and I love engaging with you guys. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you thought of it and maybe like which team you were in. Did you enjoy the love triangle? Am I the only one cribbing about this? I don't know. But yeah, I'd love to know your thoughts. So please share them in the comments and like, share, subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.